Good morning, viewers. Welcome to the program. With my pause, I have the pleasure of bringing you the very first contest in the quarterfinal series, yes, National Science Quiz Competition. Competing today at Adisadel College Presec School. Again, the contestants from Presec School are to my immediate right, and they are
From Galabiu, SS3.
Chief Ankubuju, SS3.
Kwame Nafin, SS3.
the far right, we have Adisadel College represented by
Felix Isiabwa, SS3.
Yes, Mensah, SS3. Bismarck Ode, SS3.
Viewers, both schools had effective wins at the preliminary stage and also the 1/8 final stage. And so I'm expecting an exciting contest between the schools, and I hope disappoint us. As a general, any one of you are a question post school. I need to understand that unless otherwise stated, you're to attempt a question 3 times only before the bell, all right? And a bonus question is to be attempted only once. For round 1, you have 15 minutes within which to give me an answer. We'll start with you, Presec. Name the third member of the group 3 elements. Chief.
Tin.
It's not tin. Third member of the group 3 elements. Yes, Finn.
Aluminium.
Not alone. You have one more chance before the bell. Chief.
Arsenic.
I'm sorry. For a bonus, Adisadel H. Evans.
Indium.
That is not true, and it's gallium. Gallium. Your question, Adisadel College. Fourth member of the group 5 elements. Fourth member, group 5 elements. Bismarck, is your hand up?
Arsenic.
It's not arsenic. For a bonus, Presec. Okay.
Germanium.
Oh, and it's antimony. Antimony. Presec, your question. What name is given to the movable joints between bones of the skull?
Sutures.
And that's correct. What is given to the group of 4 haploid cells that are put at the end of the second middivision? Ivan, that is correct. Presec, what is a machine? What is a machine? Finn.
Okay. A machine is any device in which an applied force is used to overcome a resistance at another point, and as such makes work easier and faster.
I'll give you the mark. In other words, work input at one point produces work output at another point. At Adisadel College, what is an engine? What is an engine? Felix.
An engine is a device that converts chemical energy to energy.
Again.
An engine is a device that converts chemical energy to mechanical energy.
Is that all you have to say?
And makes work easier.
I'll give you 2 out of 3. It is a device that converts any form of energy to mechanical energy, not just chemical energy. Your question, and there's a preamble, calculate in the given modulo, calculating modulo. Presec 13 times modulo 9.
5.
5 is correct. Adisadel College 25 times 37 modulo 12. Evans. Evans.
1.
1 is correct. 1 is correct. Presec. The silk cotton tree is often described as a deciduous, while the coconut tree is described as non-deciduous. What is the difference between the two?
The silk cotton plant normally sheds its leaves at a particular point during its growth, but the coconut plant does not shed its leaves.
I'll give you the math. The shedding of leaves is normally during the dry season. Adisadel College, the silk cotton tree can be described as a perennial plant, while the maize plant can be described as an annual plant. What is the difference between the two? Bismarck.
This means that the maize plant completes its life cycle, that is germination and growth during one season, but the other one completes it in more than one season. It completes its life cycle in more than a year, in 2 years.
I'll give you two. I'll give you two. A perennial plant like the silk cotton normally survives successive years, whereas a maize plant, which is an annual, completes its life cycle within 1 year. All right? An annual normally completes its life cycle within 1 year. Presec, explain why gases deviate from Charles' law at low temperatures. Finn.
Okay, this is because at low temperatures, the gas molecules are very close to each other, and as such, they occupy an appreciable volume, which is not negligible. And for Charles' law to hold, it means...
Finn, Charles' law. Charles' law. Explain why gases deviate from Charles' law at low temperatures. Chief.
Now, the Charles law says that the volume of a phase mass of gas is directly proportional to the absolute temperature, provided the pressure is kept constant. But at low temperatures, the force of attraction between the molecules is not negligible. Therefore, their volume is very small.
I'll give you the mark. It is the force of attraction or repulsion that becomes non-negligible. They begin to experience it, and that's because the gases move slowly at low temperatures. Adisadel College, explain why gases deviate from Boyle's law at high pressures. Felix.
At high pressures, the gas molecules occupy an appreciable volume, so that the pressure with which they hit the containing vessel at constant,
Somebody should try hard. Well, you've been bailed out. Do you want to try, Chief? Yes, for a bonus.
At high pressures, the volume of the total gas compared to the volume of the gas molecules themselves compared to the volume of the occupied by the gas is no longer negligible, because the volume is now very small. So for the actual volume to be obtained, the volume of the gas molecules themselves must be subtracted from the volume that's already there.
I won't give you the mark for a bonus. At high pressures, the total volumes are bound to be very small. Hence, the volumes occupied by the actual molecules are substantial compared to the spaces in between them. All right? Your question, Presec. Name any two of the 4 strokes in a 4-stroke engine. Okay.
Induction stroke and compression stroke.
Again.
Induction stroke and then compression stroke.
What is that another name for induction stroke? Intake stroke. I'll give you the mark. These are the power stroke and the exhaust stroke. Adisadel College, your question, state any 2 conditions which favor stable equilibrium in a body. Felix.
The resulting forces acting on the body should be balanced. That the resultant force should be equal to 0. And also, there should be no external force acting on the body.
No, Felix. Evans.
The center of gravity of the body must be low. It must be lower, and then also it should act at the base of the object.
I'll give you 2 out of 3. Center of gravity must be low. The body must have a broad base. The body should be able to return to its original position after slight replacement. And when a slight displacement causes the center of gravity to be raised, if any slight displacement causes the center of gravity of the body to be raised, there's also a condition for equilibrium. Last 2 questions of round 1. Presec, find the image of the point 3, -2 under a reflection in the line y equals -x. Yes, okay.
2 minus 3.
That is correct. Find Find the image of the point 2, -3 under a reflection in the line y equals 1. Bismarck?
2 -1.
No. Felix?
2 -5.
That's not what I have here. Yes,
2-1. 2-5.
2-5 is correct. 2-5 is correct. And that brings us to the end of round 1. At the end of the round, Adisadel College has 15 points, Presec School has 21 points. We'll move on to round 2, the applied science round. Again, you have 15 seconds in most cases within which to give me an answer. In a few cases, you will have 30 seconds because questions involve calculation. Adisadel, your question. When one spins round several times in one direction and then stops suddenly, one feels dizzy. Explain the cause of the dizziness. Felix?
When one spins round in one particular direction, the seminal fluid in the ear rotates as the person spins. But when the person stops, the fluid continues to rotate in the ear, and this makes the person feel dizzy as it rotates.
Felix, I'll give you 2. When the person stops, the fluid continues to rotate whilst the semicircular canals are stable, all right? And this causes a displacement, really, because the canals are stable and the fluid is turning. So for a moment, impulses are not sent to the brain, and that causes the dizziness. But when the person regains position, or the semicircular canals and the fluid regain their normal position, then impulses are sent to the brain again and you become normal. Presec, your question. Fright, emotional upset, and tiredness can all result in fainting. What is the primary cause of fainting or brief loss of consciousness? Chief?
When there's intermittent supply to the brain, when there's loss of blood supply to the brain.
I'll give you the mark. It's the temporary reduction of blood flow to the brain. Adisadel College, and there's a preamble. In how many ways can the letters of the word modular be arranged in a line? And modular is spelled M-O-D-U-L-A-R. M-O-D-U-L-A-R. In how many ways can the letters of the word modular be arranged in a line, Adisadel, if the consonants are together? If the consonants are together. Evans?
210. 210 ways. 210.
No, that's not true. Bismarck?
96 ways.
No. Evans?
840 ways.
I'm sorry, and you've had your 3 chances for a bonus, Chief.
24.
I'm sorry, the answer is 576. 576. Presec, in how many ways can it be arranged if the vowels are together? If the vowels are together. Chief?
120 ways.
120 is not correct. Finn?
35 ways.
35 is not correct. Finn again?
210 ways.
I'm sorry, you've had your 3 chances. You've had your 3 chances. Bismarck?
72 ways.
What?
72 ways.
It's not 72. It is 720. 720. And you know, in the first case, when the consonants are together, You have 4 consonants and 3 vowels. You have 4 factorial ways in which you can arrange your consonants, and you have 4 factorial ways in which you can rearrange everything, that is putting the consonants together as 1 plus the 3 vowels. So you have 4 factorial times 4 factorial, which should give you 576. In the second case, you have 3 vowels. So you have 3 factorial times 5 factorial, and that should give you 720. Your question at Adisadel College. Why does a spinning ball moving through air tend to follow a curved path? Bismarck, is your hand up?
This is because as the ball is spinning, the external force are able to act on any part of the body with the exception of the center. And so the body will move in a circular path, in a curved path.
Bismarck, that's not true. Do you want to try Presec? Chief?
Now when the ball is spinning through the air, the viscous drag of the air on the side direction in which it's spinning is greater than on the other parts. So that you cannot follow a straight path, therefore it goes in a circular path.
I'll give you the mark. You tend to have a pressure gradient. The pressure on one side of the ball is greater than on the other side. So you can't have a linear motion. It tends to spin. Presec, why is it dangerous to drive in a vehicle at high speed when the windows are rolled down on one side and rolled up at the other? Chief?
Now, because on one side the windows are open, air enters through that side, but on the other side the windows are closed and the air does not enter to that side, so the car is not balanced. The pressure on one side is greater than on the other side, so the car tends to be thrown off the road.
The pressure on which side?
On the pressure on the side where the windows are closed is greater than on the side.
I'll give you the full mark. Adisadel College. Copper, silver, and gold are found in a group immediately after the transition series. Why are they not regarded as typically transition metals? Evans?
This is because all their 3D orbitals are fully filled.
They are what?
They are fully filled. So
what are fully filled?
They are d orbitals. They are
all right, that is correct. That is correct. Presec, why are copper, silver, and gold not classified among the main group elements in the periodic table? Finn?
This is because they are chemically unreactive.
That's not true. Chief?
Because they occupy the d orbitals.
What occupies the orbital?
The electrons of copper, silver, and gold occupy d orbitals in addition to the s and p orbitals.
Okay, do you want to try?
The valency electrons in copper, silver, and gold cannot be faced in any of the.
Oh, I'll pass it on for a bonus. Adisadel, do you want to try? It's because their cations have partly filled d orbitals, or it's because they tend to form large complexes like transition metals. So you normally don't put them in the main group. Adisadel, your question. Explain why grasshoppers are not regarded as serious agricultural pests like their close relatives, the locusts. Bismarck.
Because unlike the grasshoppers, when the locusts are attacking a plantation, they are in a swarm, and so they cause more harm than the grasshopper, which is a solitary animal, insect, which moves singularly. Therefore, it inflicts little harm on the vegetation or plantation.
I'll give you the mark. Another point also is that they have the ability to fly and migrate over very long distances. So as they fly and migrate, they just keep destroying as they go along. Presec, your question. Explain how worker termites avoid direct sunlight when the need arises for them to leave the mount. Okay.
They build passages known as tunnels, which is covered with sand so that the light does not get.
And I'll give you the map. Adisadel College, the total surface area of a cube is 600 centimeters squared. Find the volume of the cube. Bismarck.
1,000.
Again?
1,000.
1,000 is correct. 1,000 is correct. And it's 1,000 centimeter cube, please. Don't forget the unit. Presec, the total surface area of a cube is 96 centimeters squared. Find the perimeter of the cube. Okay.
48.
48 what?
48 centimeters.
That is correct. Adisadel College, if the total mass of a car is doubled, explain what will happen to the maximum acceleration this car can provide. Felix.
The maximum acceleration will be half the original one because there's an inverse relationship between the mass and acceleration of a moving body. And if the mass is doubled, the acceleration is going to be halved.
I'll give you the mark. I'll give you the mark, but really it will be easier to work with F equals ma. And the car has a maximum force at which it will work. So if you're going to keep force constant, if you double mass, acceleration will have to be halved. Presec, an ice cube can be kept frozen for a long time at room temperature by wrapping it in a tissue paper. Why is this so? Okay.
Okay, the tissue paper is an insulator, so it does not, heat is not gained by the ice from the surroundings, immediate surroundings. Does not. Okay,
that's not true. I won't take that. Chief, you want to try?
The tissue paper has some air molecules in its, the material contains some air molecules which insulates the ice from the exterior.
Chief, please. For a bonus, Bismarck.
Before the ice can melt, the ice must be able to take latent heat of fusion from the immediate environment. And as the tissue paper is wrapped around it, it is unable to do that because the tissue paper is an insulator in the first place. And so...
No, it's not a question of the tissue paper being an insulator. So I'll let you finish. You know, the moment the ice begins to melt, it will wet the tissue paper, all right? And the tissue paper will begin to, that water will have to evaporate. Are you listening? That water will have to evaporate from the tissue paper. So the water will be taking its latent heat of vaporization from the ice to do that. So it keeps the temperature of the ice low. And so you can keep it frozen for a long time. Your question at Adisadel College, and it's the final one for round 2. In the extraction of aluminium from bauxite, why is the bauxite first treated with concentrated NaOH solution? Evans. Bismarck.
This is to precipitate all the impurities present in the bauxite.
I didn't get that. What does it do?
It's supposed to precipitate all the impurities present in the bauxite so that the aluminium can undergo electrolysis.
2. I'll give you 2. Because I heard precipitating the impurities, I decided to give you something. The concentrated NaOH actually dissolves the aluminium oxide present in the ore and leaves the impurities undissolved, okay? Presec, how is pure alumina obtained from the solution of bauxite in concentrated NaOH? Finn?
By seeding.
Seeding with what?
Seeding with ALO steric crystal solution.
That is correct. That is correct. And so we come to the end of round 2. At the end of round 2, here are the scores. Adisadel College has 31 points. Presec School has 37 points. It's a close race, isn't it? We'll move on to round 3, find out what happens. Contestants, you're being posed with the same problem, or you have before you the same problem which you're to solve in 3 minutes. Please turn over the sheets and I'll read the problem. 500 centimeter cubed of a 0.20 mole per decimeter cube solution of ethanoic acid is provided. It is the intention to prepare a solution that contains equimolar quantities of ethanoic acid and sodium ethanoate. This can be done by adding either solid NaOH or NaOH solution. A. How much solid NaOH should be added to the 500 centimeter cube solution? And B. What volume of 0.09 mole per decimeter cube of NaOH solution should be added to the 500 centimeter cube solution? Molar mass for NaOH is 40. And that is the problem of the day. Welcome back, viewers. Our contestants are ready with their solutions to the problem of the day and will now present them on the blackboard. I'll now go through the solution I have before me, and then we'll find out which school did the right thing. We said, given 500 centimeter cubed of 0.20 mole per decimeter cubed ethanoic acid, the number of moles of acid will be 500 over 1,000 times 0.20. And that should give you 0.010. Now you want to prepare equimolar quantities of ethanoic acid and sodium ethanoate. That means that half of the moles of acid present should be neutralized by sodium to prepare your sodium ethanoate. So the mole of acid to be neutralized is 0.05. And therefore, the solid NaOH to be added should be 40 times 0.05, and that should give you 2 grams. Now, to the second part, if you want to add NaOH solution, assume that the volume of 0.09 mole per decimeter cubed NaOH to be added is V. Then V over 1,000 times 0.09 should be equal to 0.05. And therefore, V is 0.05 times 1,000 over 0.09. That gives you 5,000 over 9 centimeter cubed, or 55.6 centimeter cubed. Let's take a look at the solution from Presec. They calculated everything perfectly. They got the moles of acid available to be 0.1 mole. They knew that they needed half mole to be used so that the excess ethanoic would be left. They went ahead, calculated, and realized they needed 2 grams of the solid NaOH, and of course went on to calculate the volume of NaOH solution that they would need, and they gave the answer in decimeter cubed. 5 over 9 decimeter cubed is the same as 5,000 centimeter cubed over 9. And so they get 10 out of 10. take a look at the solution from Adisadel College. They also calculated the moles of acid present to be 100 times 10 to the minus 3 moles, which of course is 0.10 moles. So the number of moles of acid present as calculated is correct. But they forgot all about the statement, equimolar quantities of sodium ethanoate and ethanoic acid. So instead of moving on with half of that to do their calculations, they just used the 0.1 mole and carried out the whole calculation. Of course, using the right formulae and everything, but because they carried on the wrong moles right from the beginning, everything else went haywire. For that effort, I'll give them 3 out of 10. And so we end the problem of the day. Let's move on to round 4. Most of the questions in this round involve calculation, and you will have 30 seconds within which to give me an answer. In a few instances, you will have 15 seconds because questions do not involve calculation. Remember that a major question is to be attempted 3 times only before the bell, unless otherwise stated. Presec your question. A boy throws a ball vertically upwards with a speed of 30 meters per second squared. How long does it take for the ball to return to the boy? Take G to be 10 meters per second squared. Okay.
6 seconds.
6 seconds is correct. Even before I could finish reading the question, Okai's hand was up. Adisadel College, your question. A car starts from rest and accelerates uniformly at 5 meters per second squared for 10 seconds, after which it travels at constant velocity for another 10 seconds. What is the distance traveled during the period of constant velocity? Evans.
250 meters.
I didn't hear that.
250 meters.
That is not correct. That is not correct. Felix.
500 meters.
That is correct. As a preamble, please listen. Find the term independent of x in the binomial expansion. Find the term independent plus 1 over x cubed all raised to power 15. Leave answer in factorials. Felix.
15 factorial all over 3 factorial times 12 factorial.
No. Evans.
15 factorial over 12 factorial times 3.
For a bonus. And it's
Factorial over.
You have been bailed out, okay? It is 15 factorial over 6 factorial times 9 factorial. Your question, Presec, pick the odd one out. Pick the odd one out. A, cassava mosaic. B, maize rust. C, ringworm. D, foot rot. E, black pod. Chief, only one attempt.
Cassava mosaic.
That is correct. Cassava mosaic is viral, or is caused by a virus, and the rest are caused by fungi. Adisadel College, pick the odd one out. A, shrimp. B, barnacles. C, lobster. D, oyster. E, crab. Bismarck.
Oyster.
Oyster is correct. The oyster is a mollusk. All the others are crustaceans. Presec, Legon, your question. Quite a long one. Please listen. A headmaster provides a chemistry teacher enough funds to purchase 5 moles of anhydrous copper 2 tetraoxosulfate 6. The chemical shop sells only the pentahydrate of the salt. What extra mass does the teacher have to buy in order to return to the school with the equivalent of 5 moles of copper sulfate? CuSO4 is 160, that's the molar mass, and for H2O it is 18. T.
450 grams.
450 grams is correct. Adisadel College, your question. A tipper truck with 204 tons of alumina goes to an aluminium smelter. The alumina is reduced to aluminium and the truck returns with the aluminium. What will be the difference in the load of the tipper truck during the in and the out journeys? Molar masses of aluminium and oxygen are 27 and 16 respectively. Yeah, Felix.
96 tons.
That is correct. 96 tons. Common preamble 1 to negative 2, 1. Presec. Find A times A. Okay.
7 minus 208.
Again, please look at it again. Watch it. Yes, Finn.
7 negative 2013.
That is correct. That is correct. Adisadel College, find B times A minus B.
7, 1, 1, negative 4.
Not negative 4.
1, 4.
No. For bonus, Finn.
7118.
7118. A ship on the sea sends a wave to the ocean floor and receives the echo 20 seconds later. If the speed of the wave was 200 meters per second, how deep is the ocean floor from the ship at that point on the sea? Chief?
2,000 meters.
That is correct. Adisadel College. Here's the limit pH of the resultant solution.
MgOH into bracket.
MgCl2. Yes, Finn?
2.
pH is not 2. Okay.
0.609.
pH, okay. For bonus Adisadel College, Felix?
4.
No, and the answer is 1. The answer is 1. And this is why I keep saying listen to your preamble, all right? Anyway, you take the next question. Calculate the concentration of the resultant solution with respect to chloride ions. With respect to chloride ions. Yes, Evans.
4 times 10 to the power minus 3 mole per dm3.
I'm sorry, Evans, that is nowhere close. Yes, Felix.
0.2 mole per dm3.
No, Bismarck. Your last chance. Adisadel, that's quite a gap you have there to close up. I wish you the best. Good luck to both schools. We are moving on to round 5. I'll be reading the clues to some riddles in the first part of this round, and you have to try to solve the riddle. When you're ready to solve the riddle, you have to call my attention by ringing the bell in front of you. Can we hear the bell from Presec? Let's hear the bell from Adisadel. Can we hear that again? All right. We'll take the first riddle. My name suggests that I am of utmost importance. That is true, since without me, one important optical phenomenon would not exist. I am most commonly associated with light. I always require two media before I show myself. Some call me greedy. Chief.
Critical angle.
Critical angle is correct. To the second riddle. I am a slender, long bone. In amphibians, I have no association with the sternum. You may regard me as a mutant long bone because I do not have a medullary cavity. I am in both the of woman. Who am I? Bismarck.
Ribs.
Rib is correct. Rib is correct. Third riddle. I am a law on, I am in computation. Generally, I am a number or letter showing how many times a quantity is to be multiplied by itself. I am also called an exponent. Who am I? Chief.
Power.
Not power. I won't take power. I won't take power because I mentioned in economics I'm a numerical benchmark. Do you want to try that at Adisadel College? Yes, Bismarck.
Binomial theorem.
Oh, finally Presec got it, but they can't give me the answer at this point. It is index. Index.
Oh. Okay.
Fine, to the last riddle. I tread along straight lines. I avoid curves. My particles undergo only elastic collisions. They also do not exert any form of attractive or repulsive forces on one another. If I need to take a beverage, I use only one brand of milk, one that you all know. At a constant temperature, my volume is proportional to the reciprocal. Who rang the bell? Felix?
An ideal gas.
That is correct. Ideal gas is correct. To the second part of round 5, you have 10 seconds within which to determine whether the statements I make are true or false. If you give me a correct answer, you earn 2 points. If you give an incorrect answer, you attract a penalty of -1. Your statement at Adisadel College: an isolated system does not exchange heat nor matter with its surroundings. Evans.
It's true.
That is correct. Presec, a relation is a function if it is many to one. Okay?
False.
I'm sorry, that is true. At Adisadel College, an increase in applied force does not always lead to an increase in pressure.
It's true.
That is correct. A closed system can exchange heat with its surroundings. Chief.
It's true.
That is correct. At Adisadel College, a graph represents a relation, but not necessarily a function. Felix. Felix, you raised your hand, yes?
It's true.
That is correct. Presec, the ratio of momentum to time may represent force. Finn.
It's false.
Finn, that is true. At Adisadel College, young centipedes have fewer segments than adult centipedes. Felix.
False.
I'm sorry, that is true. That is true. Presec, the part of the stomach of a bird where digestive enzymes are produced is called the crop. Finn.
It's false.
That is correct. is false because it's called the proventriculus. Adisadel College chromatography using a column of powdered cellulose will involve mainly adsorption. Felix?
It's true.
I'm sorry, it is false. It is false. You have to ask yourself what is powdered cellulose. Presec, an AP is never a GP. Finn?
It's false.
That is correct. It's false.